to face these broken wings and show me how to fly. I burn the sky. I see the fire in your eyes. I come alive, and I feel like I could spread my wings and fly. drinking Kool-Aid cameras like I did when I was 9. Cause I like to pretend that I haven't lost the time. In the end, the nostalgia, though it tastes fine, I can only drink a couple cause it feels like a lie. We'd play Halo and we'd lay low in our basement until the sun began to rise. We would go to school but not learn too much, cause it's hard to read when you've got tired eyes. Months go by, the time it flies, past the days that we drink Kool-Aid in the summertime. Years go by, the time it flies, past the days that we drink Kool-Aid in the summertime. They've been with me for some time, and it's nice to know that they still by my side. Friends are like stars, cause no matter how far, when it's dark outside, they will be your light. We'd play Halo, and we'd lay low.
Good evening and welcome to the Boise State Esports Arena. Tonight we have got a championship match for you. It is Boise State versus UNLV in the Mountain West Valorant Grand Finals. A champion will be crowned tonight. I'm host Jacob Palmer, joined by Artemis Rain to call all of the action for you here tonight. And Artie, it just seems like it's another championship for the Mountain West, because Boise State and UNLV, I don't know if we could have a more storied rivalry than these two teams.
I mean, I just think it speaks to the prowess of both schools as far as their esports programs go. If we are able to produce Overwatch teams that both go to the Mountain West Championship, and then Valorant squads that both go to the Mountain West Championship, I mean, it states that they're here to play and they're here to stay. So most likely we'll be seeing them again in the Mountain West Championship in the years to come and other championships down the road. But nonetheless, UNLV in both Overwatch and Valorant is a very formidable opponent.
Yeah, we played them 3 times so far this season. Now, we've won the first two times, but the last time we faced them, UNLV was able to pull out a victory. So it could go either way for the championships, which is definitely how we want it to go. Two great teams battling it out, and hopefully following Doc's keys to the game in Valorant, which is going to be to flank efficiently, spend and peek wisely, diminish their econ and loot, and dominate angles. It's brought to you by Drop-In Gaming, the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you're new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. And I understand that at least for the first 2 games for this best of 3, which are the ones we're guaranteed to see, we have a lot of old classics. And speaking of old classics, we have Rariana, Maze, Oldham, J-Bag, and Skies competing for the Boise State Broncos tonight. And now to what I was alluding to with the stages, a few classics to start it out.
Yes, we're starting out on Ascent, very similar to how we began the previous Valorant games that we did last week. So we'll have to see if the Broncos can start out strong early on, set the playstyle quickly, and dominate, send away UNLV just a couple of rounds into the second half. That's all we can hope for. And then, as you mentioned, Haven and then Lotus will be the last 2 maps. Hopefully we don't see the third, because the Broncos sweep away the UNLV squad after the first 2.
Though I find it really interesting that the majority of the matches tonight, if it will go to a best of 3, will be on 3-point stages, which isn't an insignificant feat in and of itself. It changes up the calculus of how the game is played a lot.
You just brought in math, and I don't appreciate it. We already have to talk about finances in this game, and now we got to bring up math. There's also a little bit of geometry involved. So this is why I play Valorant casually.
Well, we don't have to bring up the complicated map first, the math, because this isn't just the 2-point map to start things off, and it's the one that everyone knows. It is good old Ascent.
Ascent and Bind being some of the oldest maps available in Valorant, that means they are relatively perfected. We should see some pretty standard picks rolling out here from the side of the Broncos. I just pray we don't have a repeat of someone holding one site with an Odin and just spraying through a wall without even confirmation that anyone is on the other side.
Well, the great thing about Ascent is that it's got a little bit of everything. It's got long sidelines where an op can happen, but it has some great wallbang areas and close quarters. So we can see Boise State is going to be starting out on the blue, defending first, and UNLV will be attacking first. As Boise State starting things out pretty standard. We got your standard Jet and KJ picks. Sova as well in the standard B position. In fact, it looks like we're not going to be deviating too much from what's expected. A mirror comp for both teams.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Ribrianna again on the KJ. Skies is always very dominant whenever they're given that duelist role. Sova can lock down an entire point by themselves or with a little bit of help of a KJ, be the one to dwindle behind while KJ rotates. We'll have to see what the Broncos decide to do here first on defense.
Boise State looking to get off to a great start, and one of the things that might be putting them off to a great start is how well their Jet is going to be doing, how well Skies can be on and off. Sometimes he likes to take the traditional opping position that we see here in the mid area. You're able to cover so much territory, but other times he kind of likes to rotate up to A short and kind of take them a little bit more off guard with a more aggressive position. And then here on B Fish Market is where we can possibly see some of the Odin shenanigans and Sova shenanigans as well. So here we go. Boise State, UNLV, the Mountain West Finals, best of 3. We're off to round 1. Start things off with UNLV. Starting to see just kind of not too many choices. Looks like they're going a little bit more for abilities rather than guns.
It is pistol rounds, looks like favoring ghosts for some of the members. We do have J-Bag and Skies both with ghosts.
These guys might be able to get a sideline against Cook. It just depends on how the peaks go. Tailwind is going to be burned, but Skies does have the backup for a possible 2 peak.
It's a slight game of chicken and battle of wits. You know as soon as you look away that KO is going to peak, so someone has to keep watching this angle for 3 extra seconds as people have rotated up catwalk, looking to engage on tree. Aldum is just jiggle peeking back and forth with that Sova.
The knife is going to start things off. They go charging in, but Maze is the first one to get a pick onto Cook. Aldum in a bit of trouble is going to be taken out by Potato Bacon. It's going to be brought down to 4 apiece. Another 1-for-1 trade. Infinite, though, is going to take UNLV to a slight advantage. Now 3v2, and the rotation goes out over toward B for the plant.
Spike planted.
Plant is confirmed on B side. Broncos rotating through tiles. It's going to be Sky with their KO in tow, looking to push up through Fish Market. Sova is the one who has that spot anchored down upon this rotation, so hopefully we see both swing peek together. There's the first. Fortunately, we have shots land from Skies. It has to be a trade from Maze shortly thereafter, leaving us to just our KO left standing.
Rotation's a little bit late in from their Jet, so this means that Maze can still take this as one-on-ones. Gonna send out a shot, maybe try to bait out a peek from Fish Market, but I think Potato Bacon, they're gonna catch him from both sides here. Yep, and that's how that UNLV is gonna get the first round. But pistol rounds, not the decider of how the whole game is going to go. But for the next round, it does mean UNLV will go into purchasing position, decide what they want to try to bonus with. And I am seeing some pretty hefty purchases already from the Rebels. We're seeing 2 Phantoms be brought out.
I saw a Phantom, a Bulldog, a Marshall. Looks like probably the Phantom and Vandal are going to be posted up with one of the Bulldog players, or a Marshall, and it looks like Skies is going to go for the duel using a Marshall himself. See if that works out. We have 3 rotating forward out of Fish Market. There's no one there, unfortunately, just the KJ's turret, which will give them some intel. At least KJ is nearby, and there's a mid-push onto Catwalk coming out from UNLV currently.
Aldum is going to move back just a little, catch the ultimate orb. And send the dart out for a bit of recon. Not going to ping off of anybody.
No one shot it either, which does tell them they backed off far enough that they couldn't get an angle on it before it fully procced.
Oh, the smoke goes down, and Autumn is caught at an unfortunate angle. Maze is now going to be rotating up through Gardens as UNLV, as a group, seems to be favoring A in their rotation.
See if Skies can get a pick on someone on Catwalk. They have to do this perfectly timed and get the one last straggler. I think the rotation just barely was missed. Skies is going to push through main, hopefully anticipate the rotation onto A site. We have our KO still over near tree. Let's get inside the Omen smoke.
Guard is thrown out onto A, and the dash from the Jet is going to start things out. Blaro gets a double with the Bulldog. Now it is just one left. J-Bag hanging up on Heaven. At best here, might just be trying to get one sort of exit frag. Very unlikely he'd be able to wrangle this away. 5v1. The Owl Drone is going to go out, and J-Bag is going to play this really cautiously, even though he is hit with the bolt from the Owl Drone. And it is a flawless for UNLV off of the gun advantage. So now Boise State goes into the third round. And should things go all standard, third round is usually when the trailing team buys some ARs. The team in the lead kind of bonuses with the guns they already have. So gun advantage should slightly be favored for Boise State.
Looks like we're going with all Phantoms, with all Vandals, and then all of them picking up that Odin to hold down Fish Market, possibly over on B site with their KJ. Have to see how this shakes out. You mentioned it, the bonus round. This is pretty much where the team that won the first two pistol rounds anticipates losing, because they're not going to have the armory advantage.
Rariana is going to prove that right away. Gets a headshot onto Potato Bacon with the Vandal, but is going to be forced back with KO Molly. J-Bag gets the next picks on to Cook. Rariana has picked up a double onto Infinite. Can Boise State pick up a flawless? Even though they're kind of favored to win with the gun advantage this round, what really matters is those margins that you're able to win. So a flawless here would be beautiful to get the Broncos back in step.
They can definitely do it. We have the rotations coming out from the UNLV squad. They're going to cross over in front of Tiles, and that's where Skies is waiting with the crosshair placement perfect. Gets Ayer, and now it is just Blair, the person who introed last round with a double kill, left standing inside Fish Market, slowly getting pinched off.
Laro trying to take one last sideline, maybe trying to get one exit frag for himself. He's going to throw out the dart, get J-Bag, but Rariana is right there with the triple. So winning and only losing one isn't the worst for the Broncos. We're going to see a replay of how everything shook out. And Rariana was the first one to get a pick that KO Molly landed pretty well, but you were also talking about just the crosshair placement from Skies. Just one tap from long range and gets it.
Still have enough economy in their favor to full buy with full armor this time for the Broncos. Only half armor buys for everyone on the side of UNLV to ensure they all have the ARs on hand. If the Broncos win this round, they will send UNLV into the recession of 2008.
And I shouldn't have gone for that adjustable rate mortgage, I tell them every single time. Meanwhile, Potato Bacon is going to get the first pick onto Skies, put the Broncos at a slight disadvantage. Might be a peek here through the smoke, and Maze is the one to pick up a double from up high on Heaven. Boise State turned things around and are now in the lead for the round.
Jiggle peeking from Heaven with the melee weapon out, trying to see if anyone's there. Rotations have happened. They are UNLV now pushing up Catwalk with the KJ rounding outside of Tiles to try to make sure lockdown mid to prevent anyone from pinching off their squad. However, Omen is waiting inside of Cubby. This KJ is going to enter a duel. They check their corner. J-Bag goes down. We are tied 3 aside. UNLV's KJ, though, is at sub-half health.
And the push up through mid-market seems to be what UNLV is favoring. Maze is slowly rotating over to account for that, as Infinite is going to try to peek up through the smoke. They are in wallbang territory for the Boise State spawn as they try to go and catch the Broncos at an awkward angle, but Maze already picks up, trades 1 for 1.
30 seconds left.
Now the Broncos, maybe if Rariana can be able to catch them from behind, he does, and picks up a double. A 3-piece and a double. I'd call that a full house for the Broncos and a tied game.
Now we can take a look at the economy. It was 2 rounds lost for the side of UNLV, so they are technically able to full buy this round. Broncos after we lost 3, might be having to go with half shields, but theoretically can still buy full weaponry as far as ARs go. And it looks like Skies is going to be the oppressive force, holding down just outside of tree, possibly looking to peek tiles with the operator. It's going to have to rely on that tailwind and not take an instant headshot because he has no armor. It's a bold move, but it shows confidence.
He's immediately going to be smoked off, so it shows UNLV is respecting the possibility of the op bringing it out. So this guy's going to have to reposition. In the meantime, they're pushing up through Catwalk, possibly leaving mid-market open or A short as a potential route to take. J-Bag is hanging out. Back inside spawn is going to be moving over toward Garden. Skies has decided to move up to Heaven to keep A site locked down. And Oldham, the op isn't the only expensive gun Boise State has. They've also got an Odin for Oldham, who might be able to wallbang through B if he gets some good info.
They're men of expensive taste. What can we say at this point?
Well, Boise State, hopefully it can be a team of picks, because right now the charge is going out on towards B. Rariana and Oldham hanging out in Boathouse, and the bullet storm from the Odin proves successful for the Broncos. There's only 2 left, a possibility of a flawless. A trade 1-for-1. There's just Cook left.
Come on, Skies with the op. Yeah. I think Riri might end up grabbing the Odin just because it's a very expensive gun, handing that back over to Oldham as an apology for them going down in a blaze of glory.
And this is the one thing that we're starting to see from UNLV is we're seeing multiple rounds where they haven't been able to purchase full shields, and that all kind of stems from the first couple of choices you make in purchases in the first few rounds. Going with the 2 AR purchase in round 2, it's a gutsy play. If you're able to win with it, which they were, you're able to increase your chances for winning the bonus round. But if you lose, that's a lot of credits taken away from you.
And typically you don't go with, ooh, Skies, beautiful. You don't go with the Bulldog buys because the Bulldog is still a relatively pricey gun. You want to go with a Stinger or, ooh, Oldham. Yeah, you want to go with the Stingers or the Spectres because they're the cheaper weapon. Instead, you're going for a gun that almost costs the same amount as going for a Vandal or a Phantom. Why bother?
Oldham's going to throw out an Owl drone into mid. Not going to spot anybody, but Boise State seems to be pretty cognizant of where UNLV still wants to push, and there could be an engagement in Fish Market. Rariana's going to get some of that info off of the turret. Doesn't look like any of those bullets really hit UNLV, though.
Oh no, Riri is about to go into a 2v1 situation if that Omen pushes up to help out this KJ. KJ instead, for the side of UNLV, is going to drop the lockdown, and that means Ririana has to disengage, and it could give an opportunity to clean up and push in to gain space to the side of UNLV. And I think the Broncos are aware of that, but it looks like a bait and switch because they're looking for an egress onto A side, but Potato Bacon goes down.
Oh, uses the tailwind off of that pick that he got. Air is able to get 1 pick with the Bulldog. Boise State is going to let them plant and then go for the retake. They also have to be cognizant of this potential flank by Infinite through Gardens. As long as one of them holds that sideline.
Please, please, someone. They've all cleared through. No one is there. Oldham did find the enemy Omen, looking to pick up the Sova. They cannot. KJ decided to peek through a little bit too late. Sky starts to defuse instead. It's going to be responded by Hunter's Fury. Teleport from J-Bag. Blaro will take them down, but it interrupted the Hunter's Fury, and that's an opportunity for Oldham to get the full defuse.
Going for the full protect the president strategy there. One of them goes to defuse, the other just holds down that sideline. And an op is a pretty good option for holding down a sideline, especially if Skies is behind it. But I really like the way Skies didn't flinch in kind of that bait from UNLV. They placed the Killjoy onto site B, hoping Broncos would rotate over, but Skies stayed up on A Heaven, was able to get a crucial pick that allowed him to use another tailwind. And that's leading to the Broncos having a 2-round lead and a whole bunch of ults to use as well.
We also got to give credit to our Omen, who decided to go in J-Bag, use that teleport to get out of the first Hunter's Fury shot, but then engage to prevent the rest of the Hunter's Fury from going to go off, which allowed our Sova to get the defuse, sacrificing one man to ensure that we get the round victory. Definitely worth it.
This guy's holding down a sideline on mid. Infinite's going to swing around. The shot is baited out from the op, and Skies has to get out of a bit of danger. He's going to just take a deep breath and Live to fight another day, crucially not drop the op.
Skies does also have a shorty for close range combat, which works out if there's one person, but a 3-man firing squad, that is a no-go zone. Broncos still playing further back than I believe they would like to. Skies is forced to use another updraft, takes a blind shot through mid, does not make contact with anyone.
Oh, Rariana is in it for the long game. Sticks on Garden, and it proves useful. The spike is dropped, and that's a crucial pick for the Broncos. Cook, though, is keeping things alive for UNLV. The plant is going down by air on A. Boise State in the same situation they were in last round, having to retake. Smokes have been pretty on point with keeping Skies at bay with that off. He's dropped it and has gone over to an AR. It seems like a good decision. He's able to pick up 2 with Rariana. He's going to try to bait out a defuse. 2 angles the Broncos have to hold it from, and just J-Bag left.
KJ has very little health, and I believe KO is very low on health as well. Maze can win this. He does! Let's go! That's a huge clutch from Maze. There should be enough time to get this defuse. I don't... Oh, no, there's not. But we have broken the economy of UNLV yet again.
It's all about those margins. Unfortunately, he isn't able to get... Oh, look how close he was. He was like a few pixels away from getting outside of that spike detonation.
That was tragic.
It happens, but Boise State, like you were saying, it's all about making sure that UNLV is just going to have to spend more money this round. And you can see the fruits of Boise State's labor in that regard, because once again, all have shields.
Unfortunately, it does look like we have 1 half shield as well. J-Bag is going to, I believe, got some financial aid from someone else. Maze is going to be the one instead on half shield. We have full shields on our Sky this time, though, on Skies, who's playing with the operator. Makes him a little bit more of a formidable opponent, as we do lose Maze early on. They were the one with half shields, so it's kind of anticipated that in a duel they're going to lose out.
And UNLV is able to call Boise State out, saying, I know where you're going to be opping from. But Potato Bacon off of that pick onto Skies bites off a little more than he can chew. J-Bag is going to take him out, still keeping chances alive for the Broncos. Owl Drone's going to go through smoke. Boise State responds with their own Owl Drone.
Also dropped the KJ ultimate from inside Garden, forcing the side of UNLV off, but it still does allow them the opportunity to get sightlines upon re-engage, so Broncos need to gain space, keep them at bay. Paranoia on Aldum, pro stick it, it's okay, it's halfway.
Oh, UNLV and J-Bag tries to bring it back, but ultimately might have been a better opportunity to stick it, but we can't look back right now. We just got to look forward. Boise State, UNLV now all tied up at 4 apiece, and Infinite is really starting to kind of come into his own, being the top fragger and overall leader for this round. Boise State's going to be forced onto their first eco round of the game. UNLV not only going to be able to purchase a lot of ARs, but you see the ticks on their ultimates. One of them's ready, which, I mean, it's the Omen Teleport, you know, not the biggest ultimate, but a whole lot of huge ultimates, like the KJ Lockdown is almost online, the Hunter's Fury, and the Knives. Boise State wants to bring this round back now. Things can get really ugly, and that's one way to do it, with a headshot on the Sheriff. Boise State is just going to take that first pick and say, thank you, we're pleased with that. We'll take the ult point and retreat strategically. Another possible engage on mid as UNLV moves slowly up through Gardens. The smoke is placed to keep them at bay. It was a good first pick by Boise State, but it's so far back in UNLV spawn, they're not going to be able to pick up the gun from it. UNLV's going to break down the door. A lot of smokes going out into mid. They're going to spend 2. J-Bag just waiting for them if they want to push up through spawn. It looks like they're going back to the route that they favored at the beginning of this round toward B.
30 seconds left.
Knife isn't going to find anyone from Boise State. Dart is going to be thrown out. Mariana's going to be stunned for a bit, but is able to recover. Oh, yeah, no. tough situation there going in a 3-on-1.
It is an eco round. Unfortunately, we lose Skies. Aldum finds one, but goes down shortly thereafter. Potato Bacon.
And that's kind of the risk that you run when using the Hunter's Fury, is the other team can kind of see the angle in which it's coming from and really predict where you are. UNLV, though, similar situation. Even though they've won a lot of rounds in a row, a lot of them are still on half shield. So we're seeing consistent eco problems for them. Boise State is going to be back up to a full AR round. So opportunity for them to bring it back.
UNLV is very unwilling to not force buy around, and that is kind of what's causing these cattywampus, all of us, half of us are on half shield situations, whereas the Broncos showed restraint. They full saved last round and had the opportunity to come back with full artillery and full shields.
Skies is hanging out all the way in Wine. Might be able to catch the Rebels off guard. Some util is being thrown out into Wine, though, to give them info that Skies is there, so Skies is only going to be able to trade 1-for-1.
You should run.
Trade nonetheless. We do hear enemy KJ ultimate, the lockdown surrounding most of point. We can see our KO is near hell, can back off to the back right corner, but definitely side UNLV knows that someone can back off into that corner, so they are actually using that as an opportunity to get rotational space in. Through mid, side of Catwalk, going towards tiles. Not positive if anyone's able to catch sight of it. No one will be able to because J-Bag unfortunately did not peek on time. But at this point, I'm sure the Broncos, yeah, Aldum is aware. He is ready for this rotation.
He has a dart that he can throw out through the smoke. Hunter's Fury is going to be used, and Odin gets a ping and starts the Odin fire. A lot of chip damage is being sent out onto Cook, especially. He's down to half health.
100 bullets down, 200 bullets to go.
J-Bag, unfortunately, is not going to be able to win that show off with Bolaro, but Oldham is still going in with the Odin. Ready to keep rapid firing. He gets one and the wallbang on top of that. Boise State is now back in the lead, but they need to be able to take out these remaining two to have enough time to defuse the spike.
Wallbang that entire thing. Yes. Oh, shoot. Yes. There we go.
Huge round and take back for the Broncos. There are just 2 rounds left in the first half. We could see this tied dead even at 6 apiece, or the Broncos' best case scenario for either team actually would be to go to 7-5.
Aldum, I owe you an apology for all the times I've called out the Odin play. You have shown me that you've adapted and learned how to be an absolute annihilator with it.
And even here, he sees just one bullet whiz past him, is able to do a complete 180 and help take out the person behind him.
Here we go again, UNLV, come on guys. Both teams are forcing this round, so this is a bit of a Hail Mary. 5-5 aside.
That is a lot of util being thrown out, and Maze sticks around to be able to get the pick onto Potato Bacon. Charge goes out from UNLV. Take A. This has been the point I would say they've been more successful on.
Plant is confirmed, so they at least get plant points. It's kind of what's been keeping them alive with these really heavy force buys coming out from UNLV. They also send out the command null, which means Broncos have no utility during this duration of this ultimate.
What they lack in utility, they can make up for with sheer firepower. They're able to take out Infinite. Always great when you can get the top fragger off of the other team. Going to make this retake a little bit easier. Blaro hanging out in smokes and a split-second firing before the smoke goes up, is able to take out Air, and the rest just follow after that. Boise State is now going to go into a 1-round lead, 6-5.
And because of the poor financial decisions made on the side of UNLV every single round, it's finally going to catch up to them this time. They got the plant points, but y'all, everyone died, and I think this time you may have to admit it's time to give up the ghost on everyone buying ARs. It's the end of the round, so yeah, you can spend everything you have, but most likely someone's going to be stuck with a really, really horrible loadout.
Although, I think they should probably do the opposite of giving up the ghost. In a full save round, maybe just buying the ghost is the way to go.
Yeah, we've got Bulldogs, we've got a Spectre, 2 Vandals, a Phantom, some half shields. We hear Bladestorm get procced by UNLV's Jet. We don't have our own, but we have plenty of other ults.
I do understand, though, them forcing this round because it is the last round, so they might as well buy the guns that they can. Boise State, though, has a whole lot of ultimates they can also use for this last round. Might be more gun-ho with it, but Maze, just great crosshair placement, is able to get infinite.
Maze is 10 health though. Their health bar almost doesn't exist on our overlay right now. Even with 10 health, Maze finds another.
He is a literal machine, both figuratively and literally on this KO. Killjoy is going to be placed down, try to force UNLV off. It might be forcing this Jet to go through the sideline, or it's going to try to move back into Hell. He's going to get detained. That's huge. Yep, sees him.
Yeah!
Now there's just 2 left for the Rebels. Ultimate's going to go for the defuse, but the Molly onto the point is going to bring it back for UNLV. And that's 2 times that kind of the post-plant util has been really crucial for UNLV to be able to pull the spike down and give Boise State a run for their money. We're all tied up going into the half. Also, I see Boise State favoring. Boise State tends to be a team that just kind of favors going for the guns on the first round, going with the ghosts. They're going to have a little less util as a result, but it has let them win a lot of pistol rounds.
I'm a fellow Ghost enjoyer. I'm all for the Ghost, plus the suppressor on the front of it makes it so there isn't a shot indicator on the map, which is the one thing that the Phantom and the Ghost bring to the table.
I do appreciate you saying suppressor and not silencer. You use the correct terminology. I mean, about as correct terminology as we can get with a game as we're looking at the skin right now, which isn't realistic in the slightest. But, you know, you be accurate when you can.
No charges left.
Wow, Skies is going to be claiming a whole lot of space on mid.
Token damage through the smoke past Archway. Doesn't connect with anybody's body, which is fine.
UNLV isn't jiggle peeking too much of this. They're waiting for Boise State to make the first move. Boise State slowly moving over toward B, but immediately UNLV is predicting Boise State's movement. They throw out a knife and a smoke onto B to keep the Broncos at bay, but they are going to keep on with the route that they planned.
The only one that was detected in that knife was Rihanna, and Rihanna was already there. They were aware. Riri has already exchanged fire with somebody.
Oh, Maze gets the first pick onto air, and now a move in and a flick as well. Skies with a 6 spray transfer, or about as much as a spray transfer as you can get on a Ghost. Potato Bacon gets 1 shot onto Maze. That sheriff really powerful in these first few rounds. Boise State isn't going to fall for it, though. They're not going to ego peek it, so to speak. And Boise State picks it up, gets the first win. Is going to be able to go into the second round with the gun advantage.
Now let's see if the Broncos take a similar but more fine-tuned route than the side of UNLV did on their first buy round. And instead of buying the expensive Bulldogs as the secondaries for the people without the ARs, we go with something more like a Stinger or a Spectre, or stick with the Ghosts. We'll have to wait and see what their ultimate decision is.
I also wouldn't sniff at an Ares too. You know, yeah, it's less than a Bulldog, but see Boise State. Okay, they're only going for 1 AR and a Bulldog, so it is a little bit of a less expensive purchase than UNLV had on their first round after the pistol round.
I'm here for the Guardian Gaming. Let me see it, Aldum.
Guardian is also pretty expensive though in its own right, so it's kind of up there with the Bulldogs. So I suppose it is pretty even credits-wise.
Placing swarm grenade.
Line up, Rihanna has it down. This guy also has potentially great angle. They're going to be smoking it off, moving in off the swarm grenade. Is able to catch Infinite unawares completely.
Spike down.
Some classic shots from Ayer and Cook, though. Put a dent in the Broncos' enthusiasm, and more importantly, all those picks were on the point, so it's easy gun pickups for the Rebels.
And bad news for me. I think there are nothing but Stingers and Spectres in that instance. I believe our Bulldog is still safe.
30 seconds left.
Bulldog and the Phantom, and still within the realm of possibility for Boise State.
Could be an option to save, though.
They could, but the problem is that UNLV's Jet is hanging around the entrance to Fish Market, so it's kind of forcing the Broncos to move in. It's just 1v2, and I'm afraid this Jet is going to come in and make things really awkward.
Oh! Oh, that was so close. That was so unbelievably close.
All right, so the traditional bonus round rules are going to be completely thwarted, and it's kind of up for grabs in the next round. And yeah, it is going to be full purchases, but Boise State is, I like the discipline we're seeing from them. They're only going for one share for Skies. So they aren't really going to try to force it. They'll just try to get a thrifty, just like UNLV did.
Yeah, UNLV again, force buying, but spending almost everything they have to make sure they have half shields. It's been intriguing. Let's see how it works out for them. Skies rotating through mid, goes past Archway. There is a smoke in front of the corner on Catwalk towards Tree, making it a little bit difficult. Clear the corner, which is great. Can we get Cook? Cook has been popping off too much.
Spike down A.
They all fall, but a lot of them had classics, so it's pretty much expected at this point. Is going to go like a typical save round, and a flawless for UNLV. They now go back into the lead, and Boise State is going to face another crucial round to try to equal things up. Though even with all that saving, Boise State is going to run into kind of the same problem as UNLV had, but they are a little, just one player better in terms of shields. Round 14, ready to start.
Cover going out.
And a few smokes thrown out by Boise State to try to stop a forward push. Looks like it is a one-way that's thrown down.
And rotation from Tiles to Catwalk.
Take flight.
Boise State throws out a teleport. Yeoman's going to move a bit further back from A on the generator. A lot of bullets being exchanged through the smoke. They are trying to hold this down. Boise State is going to be able to break through and be able to plant the spike on towards A.
Standing ahead.
A little bit of a tough time though, but that is a good recon board. Is going to set up some potential wall bangs. Boise State gets hit with the Owl drone. 2v2, and Boise State is trailing a bit in the health.
Last player standing.
Ooh, the Odin spray fired from above. Drops down accuracy.
Oh,
Not in your favor.
no!
Skies not even needing the high ground. Gets the 4-piece to clutch the round.
Oh my goodness, I thought for sure, I thought that, because the flick, he originally goes a little bit too far over to the left, and I thought that split second wouldn't be enough, but he's able to pull it out. My goodness. Clutch play by Skies.
I never doubted it. Of course I did. I never doubted it.
I mean, that's such a split-second reaction to know that he's just a little to the left, and it only was for a split second that he was off to the side. Okay.
Oh, potato.
This is a key prize for Boise State. Luckily for them, I mean, the route that they're taking means they're not going to have to contend with that op for a while. Trying to get a peek through the windows. Skies doesn't expel any of the knives. He does a lot of those views.
Come on, guys. The enemy jet has an op. Oh, well, never mind. I was going to say, go kill the jet and get the op, but the jet is all the way over on the other side of the map, so maybe later.
Focus on the task at hand, which is going to be dislodging this Sova from Boathouse. Going to smoke off one of the doorways. Oh, and
muzzle,
this
you
is the
see his
right click,
muzzle?
but
Hey, free gun.
free gun. So there you go. They're still with a person advantage. Oh, and a potential flank. UNLV, though, is able to check the angles. Bring it down to 4 apiece. This jet is very slowly moving in from their own spawn. that KJ took a whole lot of damage. It's just hanging on by 1 or 2 health. Still manages to pick up one.
Player standing.
There's only one left for Boise State. It is Skies, and he's going to be rushed here in Boathouse. Taken out, and UNLV has just enough time to defuse. They're going to go back into the lead by 1. Crucial round that they needed to win in order to make this op purchase a bit more stable. Boise State looks like they're going to be focused on to another save round. 1 Vandal used by them, but everyone else is going for handguns. Well, they're gonna swap that too.
Smart decision made on their part. If one person goes with a Vandal buy, it can risk the economy for the next round for that person, meaning there's no full buy. So waiting it out, I think, is a better option. They hear the first op shot, baited it
I can't use
successfully.
that.
Boise State, their route to their victory is going to be that crosshair placement and landing those headshots. I think he saw the elbow of Infinite right there.
Really good. You shots, guys. Oh.
Gets
Maze.
caught out by the alarm bot.
Maze did find air, though.
Fire exchanged in. Right before. Oh, has to
Yes!
flick over and is able to get cooked. That's going to be a gun pickup.
That's 2 gun pickups for the Broncos. UNLV with 3 left standing. 4 agents still alive for the Broncos.
Placing alarm bot.
Boise State has played this eco round pretty good so far. They're up 1, make that up 2. Maze with this Phantom that's been picked up has now made it so the Broncos could very likely hold a thrifty, but they got to start hoofing it to a point if they want to claim that.
30 seconds,
30 seconds left, and this archway is being held down pretty hard by this jet.
We're currently all lined up. Have Util drop behind to prevent a flank, but there's 2 on A site. We cannot commit to rotating to B. It has to be a full rush on the A site. Jet, though, has the operator, and we need to get in quickly. Our KO is at a sliver of health. Potato Bacon gets another one onto Rihanna and takes down our KO. It is just Aldum left standing, who does end up getting the pick. Can he complete the plant? He does. Gonna try and fend off this enemy. KJ get the res, can't find it, and unfortunately our KO's health times out.
And the defuse, enough time for that to go through as well. They're going to pick up the op. We get to take another look at how this push went through for the Broncos. They had a 2-person advantage, but ultimately that op was a huge problem. And Boise State is now going to have to bring things back with a full purchase round. It's pretty good what they managed to do, all things considered, when it's considering it was an eco round.
Yeah, with nothing but some pistols. They did a great job breaking down some of the economy that was available for the side of UNLV. UNLV, though, stacking those ultimates.
Placing alarm bot. Placing swarm grenade.
Enough to be a game of maybe just take out the other team first before those ultimates can be used. Potato Bacon is just being relentless. And another time walking right. That alarm bot in mid-market has consistently been a problem for Boise State.
Oh, they almost got a headshot onto the jet with the operator. Finally, Aldum gets the confirm, and they have follow-up kill from Skies onto Cook, but Cook is in ult, so technically if someone runs in, can res that downed KO, and I believe they are currently attempting to do just that. We're trying to use Hunter's Fury to fend it off.
There they are.
Oh!
Oh,
He is able to take it.
Cook was rezzed. Dang, so close.
He got a whole lot of damage back onto Cook, though, so Cook is almost, for all intents and purposes, taken out again. One of these shock darts might actually do it. Oh, wow. I suppose the shock dart did it, but it was for the other team. This guy's only hanging out on 2 health. It's just Oldham left. He gets 1. Now on a 2-on-1.
Plays inside the smoke for extra cover, waiting for someone to get 2 gold.
UNLV is now going to go up to an all-important 11, which means Boise State has to make the decision on whether they want a full save here or try to force it. But I do think it is probably a full save, meaning it will go on into match point. No, they're going to try to... Well, it is a split purchase, so I do wonder what the strategy actually is here. Okay, it is going to be a save.
Placing sentry.
Going with Stainers and hoping from the best from there on out.
Last save round, they were very successful. It's just near the end, the excess gun power that UNLV still had, because one of our people engaging, I believe, still had a pistol, is what clutched it up for them. So perhaps things will go a little bit more in our favor.
Ooh, Rariana spots the full charge going on toward B. Puts is going to retreat. Blaro picks up a double with this Odin. J-Bag and Rariana doing their
Last
part.
player
They're still going to be able to trade out a few, but it's just Rariana left with a Sheriff to try to take it back. Does still have a one-on-one. Isn't able to land the headshot, but does get the reload. And a body shot is able to take out Air, but isn't able to pick out the gun before the flank comes through from the Rebels.
Match
UNLV
point.
now at match point, and Boise State with their last chance.
How? Just that.
One last purchase. UNLV has expended a lot of their ultimates, so Boise State has the advantage, and UNLV, 3 of their players are pretty far away from them. The thing is, though, Potato Bacon is still on this op, and Boise State has repeatedly found themselves in bad peaks. They are going to smoke off that op. I like that, but Potato Bacon is just moving up, and they're able to dislodge him. That's
nice.
huge.
You should run.
Attackers proc KJ ultimate. It gets destroyed tragically. Here the wall banks coming out from the Sova. Skies is at 1 health. Rihanna does find Blaro. Infinite goes down as well after removing Skies from the playfield. UNLV have 2 left standing. That's their KO and their Omen. Do you believe Broncos should be able to bring this back in their favor?
Suppressing. One suppressed.
The knife is going to pick up Air, so that gives the Broncos information on where one of the Rebels is coming from. Going to try to get a little bit more intel off of this Owl drone, and they spot Cook. So now they know where both are. But Air still manages to pick up Maze. Rariana is also very low on health.
There they are.
Bomb grenade out.
One enemy remaining.
Rariana, despite being at half health, is still able to pick off Air. Cook falls next. And it has to be the first of 4 rounds the Broncos have to win in a row, but they're 25% of the way there.
They can do it. Especially just the economy currently is not great for really, Potato? I'm questioning your choices right now. Yeah, that's a little better. Considering Broncos are able to full buy this round, it should work more in their favor.
Broncos did spend 2 of their ultimates.
Quick peeks now.
Next one they're realistically going to have is going to be Maze.
I mean,
Command null.
we've got nominal.
But you know, that's situational. And get a lot of intel, though. Maze is now just 1 away from this command null, so Boise State knows they're really close on a great engage.
Ooh, Riri.
Potato Bacon again taken out. Boise State is not going to be too gun-ho after that initial pick. They're going to wait things out.
Riri's fully backed off from Fish Market.
Skies is also just 1 away from the knives.
Here.
Gives a ping, and there isn't a player there, but there is indeed a turret.
I think they're hearing the turret noises. And that was the ping from Skies. They're going to blind it, use Cloud Smoke, Tailwind in, double Cloud Smoke. Swarm grenades have gone off.
Going down below heaven. Oh! There is still someone Hanging out in that smoke, and Laro up from heaven picks up a double. It's just down to Rariana, and that's going to fall. So Boise State now trails one in this best of three. It'll all go down to Haven to see if the Broncos can bring it back. You have any observations?
Well, okay, so hear me out. 2 weeks ago, we had a very tragic event happen on Haven, and it did not go in our favor. I'm not positive if in that instance it was our pick, but the following week we went Haven and absolutely dominated.
Boise State has played a lot on Haven. I know it's a stage that they tend to pick out a lot, so maybe they can bring it back, drive it off to a Game 3. We'll be back, though, with the second game of the Mountain West Grand Finals. We'll see if UNLV can pull out the victory, or if Boise State will fight back and drive it to a Game 3 after this.
It's me, your Idaho Central Credit Union app. Rough morning. Is that a mobile deposit? I got this. Beat it, Charlie. We're making money moves here. Cha-ching. And done.
Charlie, come on, outside.
Sorry about the mess. I'd help if I had hands. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket. It's me, your Idaho Central Credit Union app. Rough morning. Is that a mobile deposit? I got this. Beat it, Charlie. We're making money moves here. Cha-ching. And done.
Charlie, come on, outside.
Sorry about the mess. I'd help if I had hands. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket. It's me, your Idaho Central Credit Union app. Rough morning. Is that a mobile deposit? I got this. Beat it, Charlie. We're making money moves here. Cha-ching. And done.
Charlie, come on, outside.
Sorry about the mess. I'd help if I had hands. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
Welcome back to the Boise State Esports Arena. We are currently in the middle of the Mountain West Valorant Grand Championships. Boise State is heading up against UNLV in a best-of-3. We started out on Ascent, and the Rebels were able to pick up a victory and are now going to be moving on to match point on Haven. I'm host Jacob Palmer. I am joined by Artemis Rain to call all of the action for you here today. So we're going to Haven, which is always kind of a fun stage when you kind of get that third point possibility in there. And I know for you, as long as you just see one attempt to plant on B, you're happy for the game.
Yes, it makes me incredibly happy. And considering what we discussed before the break, which is the history Broncos recently have on Haven, which was a rather unsuccessful day on Haven, and then to pick it again and come in swinging, I think Haven might be our turning point map, the map that kind of we weren't the greatest on, but we decided to turn our greatest weakness into our greatest strength, so to speak. Used to be Icebox, but Icebox is too locked down at this point, so I gave up talking about that. So with Haven being the second map pick, hopefully this sends us into Lotus.
I never thought I would hear you say that, that phrase, because I know your opinions on Lotus.
Just not a Lotus fan. Nope.
But in this particular circumstance, it would mean the Broncos would have to win this game to go on into Lotus. So for this, you'll make an exception for this.
I'm looking forward to seeing Lotus, and this is the only instance you'll ever hear me say that.
Well, I guess there are going to be a day when it is raining cats and dogs. So I also saw some hogs flying earlier, so.
Oh, okay, that explains the feathers I saw and why I was sneezing. All right, with that being said, I think as far as agent lineup goes, we're probably something very similar to what we saw on Ascent, with the exception that we might end up seeing an actual Skye, not Skies, so to speak, playing Skye, but we could possibly see a Skye in the Bronco agent lineup. We'll have to wait and see what they pull out. There's a little bit more flexibility on this map than there is on Ascent, at least I believe, as far as agent meta goes. We'll have to see if we see a perfect mirror between both sides or not.
We saw that last time on Ascent. Both teams went for the exact same picks, so
it's boring.
It is, well, but it also perfectly encapsulates Ascent. Everyone kind of plays the same game, and it is down to pure technique. Talking about playing the same game, things are looking to be pretty similar for Boise State. They're going to roll it back on the KJ and the Skies pick. And J-Bag is also going to stay on the Omen, but they have decided to swap up initiators. Are going to be moving on to Skye and Breach.
And it looks like for the side of UNLV, they're going to go with the Breach, possibly a Sova, KJ and Omen Mirror again, and the Jet from Potato Bacon.
And if these picks are indeed the final ones, the one thing that's going to be different between these two teams is that Boise State is going to have a little bit of healing available to them.
I also like the flash utility as well that the Hawks bring for Aldum as well as Trailblazer. Trailblazer kind of takes the place of the Owl Drone a little bit, but it adds the extra concuss moment that if the person's close enough, you chomp them, and then the rest of the team goes and takes the rest of the bites.
Not only a concuss, but just a little bit of damage, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes in those pistol rounds, that 30 extra damage can help you out. So Boise State now all set to go up against UNLV. We'll see if the Broncos can win in Game 2, and if they do, then we will go the full 3 games and be on toward Lotus. I gotta say, 2 temples in a row, by the way. It isn't just that both of them are 2 3-point maps, but they're 2 temples at that as well. Very contemplative.
I mean, okay, hear me out. Haven's a little decrepit. It's the aesthetic. Lotus is gorgeous. Aesthetically pleasing, I love Lotus. As a player, I hate Lotus.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
I think I hear Colin say words of disgust actually being upset in the prod room right now. Am I tasting salt in the air right now?
Perhaps you maybe could have used a different word other than decrepit. Maybe you could have just said, you know, it's a fixer-upper. Handyman special, or maybe needs TLC.
Some love. Looking right now what UNLV and the Broncos are planning. We got 1 Frenzy on the side of UNLV and 2 Ghosts. 1 Ghost, and the rest all classics for the side of the Broncos.
Boise State is going to start things off with a push toward lobby. The smoke being placed out onto Heaven. There are 2 Rebels currently holding down the route on Surus, and Potato and Bacon is going to be getting the first pick onto J-Bag. Now gets the second onto Rariana. Skies and Autumn are fighting back, but a triple has now been brought out onto Potato and Bacon.
One
Two
enemy
left, two
remaining.
apiece, and now
Last
just
player
one left.
standing.
1v1 and Boise State is going to get caught out in their ultimate, but does get the blind, and it wears off at the last moment. That was
so close.
Yep. Oh, it happens. You're trying to play the game of prediction, trying to find their next move. I gotta say, Potato and Bacon is still kind of fulfilling the role. I mean, even though this is the first pistol round, is still fulfilling the role very much of the Opper and getting those first picks consistently against the Broncos. And I think we might see if Potato and Bacon wants to just keep on sniping, is going to go for the most expensive gun they can get, is going to be purchasing a Phantom. Meaning that just like when he was on the op, that's a very key pickup for the Broncos. The out drone is just going to fly right by Skies.
Yeah, but we did instigate the turret. No way. No way.
You couldn't be pushing B, could you?
Are we?
Oh, well, Cook is able to take him out. So the Broncos are going to abandon the dream of planting B for now and go the same route they did last time.
Yeah. Looks like, yeah, A site cleared out hell. We're going to flash over towards CT maybe. Ooh, no, we're going to walk through the swarm grenade and get into a better position. Crossfire is there. Rihanna peeks first.
UNLV, this is crucial. They're going to have to check this angle when they go on the retake.
They're not gonna. Alden is safe. Oh, Paranoia comes through on Maze.
Oh my goodness! Oldham trades 2 for 1 on a classic.
One enemy
Worth
remaining.
it.
Okay, this isn't a bad showing. In terms of the fact that there is such a huge gun advantage for the Rebels, taking out 3 of their players is enough of a dent in their econ that I would consider that to be as much of a victory as they can get. They also got the spike down, so they're going to get the extra credits for that as well. Now's the time where the rubber hits the road.
Yeah, because of their buying style, UNLV is choosing to go with a semi-save round.
The most important purchase, which was that Phantom, is still up, so a chance to bonus with that is not inconsequential, especially considering who's holding it. Boise State once again favoring the A push through lobby. We haven't seen anything from C, only a cursory glance towards B so far. Oldham gets the first pick onto Blaro.
Can we get the pick onto Infinite here?
Oh my goodness.
Solo. Confirm the kill. Come on.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Woo!
B-side? B-side?
It is a B-side push.
B-side push. Finally.
Spike planted.
Alright, I'm satisfied. And notice, UNLV only has 3 agents left standing. The B push? Pretty good.
That's a nice swing around from Rariana. Eliminates Potato and Bacon.
One enemy remaining.
And that's a clean double from Maze to put the Broncos back up to 1. They only lose 1 in the process. Now UNLV is going to have the opportunity to buy full ARs themselves. And that was, I think that was the very key push by Rariana, was able to get rid of probably the biggest threat, UNLV's Jet, and be able to set up a double for Maze, ultimately put the Broncos back into the lead. Another early engagement through a lobby. I suppose old habits do die hard. Potato and Bacon is also going to be able to pick up Maze.
Spray fire down in sewer, but there is not a soul down
I
there.
got the spike.
Smoke pushed out onto A main. Clear other side of the stage. The spike is actually traveling once more over toward B. I mean, it is a split push. There are still 2 Broncos over towards A. So it is still a bit awkward, but now would be kind of a time to... If they can smoke off the 2 entrances. I do think it is going to be another B push. There it goes.
There's an Omen creeping up left side on site. He's the one I'm concerned about.
For good reason.
Yeah, fine skies. UNLV now up by 1 agent. Smoke is committed from our Omen onto the middle of the site. Cloud Smoke is down. Defuse
One
has
enemy
started.
remaining.
Potato and Bacon goes down. Infinite. Blaro still defusing. Didn't have the opportunity to rush in from our Omen to get the kill. That's another round in favor of UNLV.
Now going up 3-1. Broncos have enough credits to purchase for 1 more round. Should they lose another one, it is going to be another save. Oldham also is going to have just enough to get full shields. Once again, UNLV has gone for a consistent strategy of going for full ARs, but hanging back on the half shields. But it did eventually work out for them on Ascent.
If you look at it the other way, you take a headshot
I've
from a
got
Vandal,
your
you're dead
trail.
either way.
That is true.
It's like, why waste the extra 500 credits?
500 credits here and there, especially when kind of a key win condition is making sure you can purchase the op for your jet.
Sky's committed the Seekers. Knew no one was on C site.
It is the first time this game Boise State has planted on C. Rolling Thunder.
Rolling Thunder.
one deserves another. Now, Potato and Bacon also. Off to the side, and Rariana's going to be taken out right next to the spike.
Come on, Maze. You can clutch this. Keep taking that spike.
Oh, caught on a reload.
One enemy
Oh, but
remaining.
is able to take out the
Spray the
KJ.
spike, spray the spike. Yeah!
Is that the best you've got?
Oh, I can't, I mean, I'm happy for a round win for Boise State, but round wins like that mess with my cardiovascular health.
Broncos do it to us. The Rocket League team consistently has been doing it to us. Valorant is now their cup of tea as well.
This guy's not going for an AR, but that's because he's going to be using the Blade Storm for this round.
Hold it up.
Oh, for once I thought we really forced UNLV to decide to actually full save. No, they're going to force as much as they can again.
Potato and Bacon, once again, look at this aggressive flank that he's taking up through
Oh,
Boise
no,
State's own
Riri.
spawn. Is anyone
Riri,
looking?
careful.
Skies is, but Laro is able to take him out. It is overall 1 trade, so both teams are at 4.
Flash out.
Boise State is going to fan out just a little bit to see if any potential flanks are coming
You
from
should
B
run.
or C. They're going to throw down their KJ. And another one, so we'll
Oh.
get a a lovely overlay.
Duel of the Fates happening right now.
Boise State's going to have their Killjoy taken out. Boise State, their Omen J-Bag, unable to get out.
Spike, Spike, get the kill on Spike. You're a little too low. Come on, come on, come on.
Player standing.
Yeah, the pain on Spike was just a little bit more, just not quite accurate, so Boise State was just a tad off. This was a great show of cognizance by UNLV being able to pick out where Boise State placed their lockdown. Cook honestly could have just stuck it from there. He eventually bailed out the last moment, but he had enough time to just stick it all in one. Either way, UNLV now up 2.
Still too early to make a call.
Another push toward B. We are seeing probably the most B pushes I've ever seen in the first half of Haven. And hey, Skies is able to get the first pick onto Cook. This could be the start of a beautiful thing. Oh, but they have the spike back in their spawn, so people on B are going to have to hold just a little bit longer.
They got the owl drone coming out from enemy Sova.
Oh, that's
shoot.
rough.
Oh, shoot. Oh, please live.
Just able to barely survive, and the heal's going to go out from Oldham.
One enemy
Oldham
remaining.
also picks up one for himself. Nice flick from the Broncos. There's just one Rebel left. They're going to be able to kind of blast him through the wall, but it's one Maze holds on to that util. Laro's going to take the one-on-one against him and win it, and has just enough time to defuse. It's going to be a key clutch brought in by UNLV, and now Boise State. Once again, they haven't had the worst eco rounds. I mean, you got to remember, this was a round where they had nothing but handguns. Lara was able to ultimately get some headshots with the Vandal to be able to clutch it. So I would assume with all the credits they'll get from the eliminations, they'll have a good amount of ultimates available for this round. They'll have 2. So it's technically a little bit more than UNLV. But now the threat that we have all been, that Boise State has been dreading is now out. Oh my god! Well, I guess Potato is just going to be taken. Let's just forget the op for right now. Boise State doesn't want to revisit that. Laro still holding down. It's a trade 1-for-1. Boise State now is up 3-2. But Cook pulls out a double onto the point. Make that a triple. Maze is left.
Infinite's rotating through sewer. They have Spike on lock.
Flash out.
Best thing Maze can hope for is to be able to take this one at a time.
Swinging right around boxes in middle.
He's got to take them one at a time. He's going to... Oh, no!
To your left, no!
Yeah, but unfortunately, sometimes you're stuck between two unappealing choices. At least in that regard, in this circumstance, you would have had the wall to your back if you had gone left. So ultimately, sometimes you just got to make the decision, go with it, and sometimes it doesn't come in your favor. Hard situation either way with the 2-on-1. Now, UNLV fills out their purchases a little bit more. Going to still have rifles. Now some full shields on top of that.
Oh, no. Okay, I get it. You don't have to reload.
Plant is going to go once again onto B. Owl drone thrown out through the smoke. State takes that out before the dart can be thrown out. Rolling Thunder to retake from the Rebels. They're going to be moving right in. J-Bag is concussed. It does wear off, though. He moves in, but doesn't check the angle to the right. And Air makes him pay for that. Some jiggle peeks up the body.
You're better.
Flawless.
And a flawless for UNLV brings this up to a 5-round lead for the
Everyone
Rebels.
note down your observations, then let's run it again.
Boise State, they're consistently able to plant the spike. I think that's the thing. They're consistently able to get in and plant the spike soon. And there were often rounds where they do get kind of a pick at the beginning. It's just a matter of getting that post plant down. This will be another rifle purchase for them.
Best the Broncos can hope for right now is
I've
entering
got your
second half
trail.
with a 5-round victory as we have Seeker sent out, Trailblazer as well, running out through garage. They found one on Tetris. Double smokes are used. They managed to get Potato and Bacon. 3 coming in from CT. This guy's still alive.
J-Bag is going to get the plant down, and here's the situation we were just talking about. And it's that post plant. They do get a pick onto Cook. Brings them back up to 1. They're up 2.
You got this. You got
One
this, guys.
enemy remaining.
No, Cotton reload.
Lauer's been really good at picking up these doubles. It is going to be a team ace for the Broncos. That brings them to within 4. Skies is going to be able, this is technically for all intents and purposes a full purchase, with Skies being able to bring out the Blade Storm. Potato and Bacon once again rolling it back with the op.
Meet the open end of Maze's barrel again, please.
Get out of my way!
Blade Storm popped. Op is going to initially be used on Ace, so Boise State doesn't have to deal with it right now. That alarm bot once again gets Boise State. Air takes out Rariana. Skies trades it back 1. The KJ drops down into Garage. He's going to be taken out by J-Bag. It's 3 for each team. Hunter's Fury used by UNLV to forestall the plant. Nice shot by J-Bag. A wall bang onto Cook. Blade Storm brought out by the Jet. It's a Blade Storm dance. J-Bag still has the opportunity to bring this back. Is able to get it.
Cover going out.
I can't curse, but nicely done, J-Bag.
Comes down to the last person. That's just the boost the Broncos needed to bring it back to 7 and 5. They're now just 1 round away. Potato and Bacon went kind of so in on this purchase here that, and pop the Blade Storm as well. I don't think a full purchase is in the cards for him. UNLV is going to bring out the timeout, the first of this match.
We did it. We did it. Though, also note, timeouts can be used to just stop the momentum of another team, so it could be tactical just in that essence. However, that's the first timeout called altogether thus far, and I think it's a good sign.
One thing also is, if we're talking about stopping momentum, then the halftime is just right after this round. So both teams are going to be forced to pistols right after this. So very crucial round for the Broncos to be able to use those big guns and any ultimates that they have left in their arsenal.
Let's hope Broncos can close this one out. Granted, yeah, we won't end it in a tie, but, you know, 5-7 is not half bad. And I personally think Caven's definitely a defensive-heavy map and one that we are very successful on defending. So let's get this round 5 victory for us and go into a half looking to sweep the rest of the rounds.
My goodness, Potato and Bacon, you are going to carry this up to the end of your days.
Dude died and bought it again. He is... they're dirt broke. Granted, it's the last round. Still, holy McNuggets, the commitment to playing soft.
I mean, you can see why.
Down A.
Shoot, and this was one of the first times we actually pulled Spike out of spawn.
This is going to get their location revealed. Alden picks up the spike. Once again, Potato and Bacon moving up to take this sideline onto lobby.
Maze, you're better. You're better. Just jiggle peeks. They disengage.
Boise State might once again be going on to B.
Uh-oh.
This could be, if he's not careful.
Yeah,
if he is not careful, he could be walking into a...
I'm scared for Maze.
I mean, he's got a...
Oh. Yep. That's why we were scared.
Just sometimes you watch the train coming from far away.
Okay. Cleared the site. Can we get into the plant? No, Potato and Bacon rushed in with the shorty. Picks up J-Bag. We have a trade, but UNLV ultimately is one left standing. They do get the DPs as well.
Now it is an 8-4, and I don't necessarily know how I can predict this next half, because you did say that Haven is a more defensively minded stage. The one counterpoint that I would respectfully put in is that, you know, with these 3-point stages, you're often spread so far out that we can often see kind of attacking teams run away with it if the defending team isn't able to rotate over quick enough.
I see your counterpoint, and I raise you, but I have faith.
Well, I can't argue with that. That's your you just you slammed down the draw for a while, and I cannot respond to that. All right, Boise State trailing UNLV by 4. They're going to go into their first pistol round. We see a few
Oh.
ghosts and a share of Bebop.
Oh, they're all posted up right outside garage. And there's no one there for the Broncos. The info you're gonna get is we just dropped util.
Potato and Bacon once again just off to an insane start, 16-9 in the first half. They're going to go for a B push as well.
Not as cool.
I also swear that it isn't this common normally,
No,
because
it's-
B has been the most popular point in this particular stage. Potato and Bacon and Infinite both pick up ones for themselves with the headshots. J-Bag is trying to rotate back.
And a gorgeous flash come out from Skies. I think we just really flashed
Player
ourselves.
standing.
Rihanna found one. Now it is just J-Bag left standing. Potato rounds the corner, gets the headshot. That's first pistol round over in favor of UNLV.
And I think what's more important is that at this point, you know, whoever wins this first pistol round is going to be able to purchase up. And at this point, Boise State is starting to run out of that, you know, kind of that cushion area. There are normally kind of ebbs and flows within a normal Valorant game. So, you know, unless your team is really running away with it and winning 5 or 6, there's going to be a few losses peppered in with those wins. And UNLV getting up to a big of a lead as they have right now, just on kind of the natural ebb and flow in Valorant, might be able to win it just off of that.
Infinite with the entry pick under Rihanna. Down our KJ now for the Broncos. Pushing out through sewer on A.
Probably saw the job Potato was doing on the sniping and didn't want to be left out.
Come on. We've got the rotation out. Oh, Cook picks up both of them.
Maze and J-Bag. Trapped in an awkward position in garage. UNLV holding back a little bit on the plant.
I mean, there's no point in saving.
And they can also win just on the eliminations alone, and they seem to know that Maze and J-Bag are there. They're able to take out Maze. Cook with a triple. Sound like Russell Wilson living up to his name.
Thought he'd be Nova is, but unfortunately Cook peeks around Tetris, finds J-Bag.
They're going to pick up that last that handgun to make sure they can get as much util as they can for this bonus. You can see this last attempt on a retake is just such a difficult position because you're in you're not in a thing where you have like an expensive gun like an op or even an AR where you can just say I'm going to save for this round. I mean, you're in a pistol round and a save, so the only option you have is to try to take a 5-on-1, and even if that's the best choice to do, it's never fun to do that.
Most definitely, and we have Potato find Rihanna first. J-Bag goes down.
Spike
Well,
down.
J-Bag
C.
takes down Blaro. Spike is down on C site, so engage is definite. J-Bag in the swarm grenade goes down to Potato and Bacon. Starting to not like Bacon so much.
Spike planted.
Ooh, wow, Skies, that's a nice flick on to Potato and Bacon.
Oh, the paranoia.
One enemy remaining. Last
Skies
player
with a
standing.
nice flick. It's now down
All right,
to a
Maze.
battle of the breaches.
You got this, Maze.
Like an actual World War II battle, the Battle of the Breaches.
Ooh!
Oh my goodness! On the util alone gets Cook.
Heck yeah, that was glorious. Our breach is better.
Hey, you called it out, so.
Yeah, I did. It's only the third time I've tried. Eventually, I get things right.
If you call heads enough times on the coin flip, you're gonna be right 50% of the time.
See, you know what I mean.
And you've been in a competitive video game setting too. Sometimes you're happy with 50%.
Yes.
As for a win rate. So, as far as I'm concerned, this is one of the best records we've ever had. And Rihanna, for the first time this match, is going to be bringing out a judge.
I'm excited.
Going to just be hanging back behind the doors in garage. Would love to see a judge play work out beautifully.
UNLV looking for default just to get some intel. Broncos hanging pretty standard spots, not pushing forward.
Boise State now moving back over toward A. One benefit they have, or rather UNLV is going to be pushing on toward A. We'll see how fast Boise State can rotate over to A.
Yeah, currently we only have our Sky over near CT. Can rotate into Heaven on A site. Not positive as to what weaponry we have on our Skies. Could make that a little bit rough. They're hanging back. Oh, what? Okay, they're juking us out, rotating back out of A.
But it once again means a possibility for this judge to be brought into the equation, which is what I was hoping all along. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm not objecting to this rotation at all.
They're huddled up like penguins to just decimate
30
whoever is
seconds left.
inside B site with a disgusting amount of util. And the answer is everyone's on the edges, so they're not going to get caught in it. Nice try.
Everything is
Oh.
just thrown at that doorway. Oldham gets the first pick. Oh, the Guardian Gaming that we love to see. It's a double. Still 2-for-1 trade. The thing is, does UNLV have enough time to plant?
10 seconds left.
Killjoy's going to be thrown down by the Rebels. Infinite gets a triple. They're going to try to move in.
Last player
The State only has a
standing.
few seconds left. And I don't know if they can get out of the range of this Killjoy. Yeah, the Jet is going to just be able to. Now it's to have a difficult retake, 2v1 against a Killjoy, no less. Through the smoke.
Enemy remaining.
Oh,
Come on, Skies.
Air was not quick enough on that 2-on-1.
Check your left, check your left, check your left. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah!
All right, Boise State getting a second wind. It's now brought it to within 4 rounds. And I was for sure thinking that Air would swing around here around B and take just kind of the classic 2-on-1. Extremely good break for the Broncos that he was a little bit, kind of got cold feet at the last moment. My goodness, Potato and Bacon. Look, he's already at over 20 for the KDA. Ultimate form of irony that the Idaho team will ultimately have the most trouble with a Potato, but that's how it's actually turning out this game.
It's all about that bacon, I'm telling you. That's what's making the difference.
It's a loaded potato. Quite literally a loaded potato, having the op. Just
Oh, Oldham.
could have a good...
Just stay back, hold the angle. Don't go forward. This is
Sometimes it is just the world's most uncomfortable staring match.
this is like 20% of Valorant right here.
This is peak
Don't move. Don't move.
gameplay.
Exactly. Don't move, Oldham. You stay there, that means you have 2 people on you. Don't move. Don't move. Just stay there.
It works out for him. He is going to be able to trade 1-for-1, which going up against
Spike
2-on-1 is a
down
pretty
A.
good outcome for the Broncos. Potato and Bacon is still going to be there with the Blade Storm.
Last player standing.
Right click, Srariana. UNLV now goes up to 11. So now there's just kind of one proverbial strike left for the Broncos before the Rebels are able to bring it to a match point. I have to wonder, well, yeah, they're going to have to save for this round. So unless a Thrifty is pulled off here, that means UNLV might be at a match point, and that would have to be 6 straight wins for the Broncos to drive it to overtime. Ariana just moving back. Those doors are toast.
Skies is as well. Broncos down 1. J-Bag rotating out to C. He's going to be meeting the barrel of 2. Cook finds 1, and now Boise State's just down to our KJ and our Sky.
Ariana, no doubt going to be hearing all. I mean, they are focusing that doorway down hard. Ariana has nothing but a Sheriff and is going to get hit
planted.
by the Owl Drone as well. Has to beat a hasty retreat. Boise State, I mean, they have the Seekers, but I would think they probably save that for the next round when they have full guns.
I agree.
Being is here, you also got to keep in mind how close UNLV might be to their ultimates. You know, do you want to risk giving a point over to them? Brianna only needs one for their point.
Last player standing.
And it's going to take it out of being taken out. And a 1-for-1 trade. That isn't enough to bring the round back.
UNLV now at match and
point.
series point. Broncos have to win 6 rounds back to back.
UNLV just 1 round away from claiming the Mountain West Championship title. On attack, and Boise State is going to have just about everything they can to throw at them. They're all going it's also Phantoms versus Vandals is this final round. I don't know how many times I've actually seen that, because normally it's such a mix. I just find that interesting. I mean, not very pertinent to the actual, you know, strategics of this match, but I like finding interesting things.
I'm a fan. Rolling Thunders committed from the side of Boise State.
That goes through a whole lot of UNLV, but Potato and Bacon is still managing to hold it down. Air gets rid of Oldham.
Here.
Teleport trying to get a little bit more info. J-Bag is going to take a huge flank, but it's only a 1-to-1 trade. 2 left for the Broncos to try to defend.
Here, you should run.
We just gotta pick up 2 kills. Let's do it.
Placing swarm grenade.
One thing also is that UNLV hasn't planted yet, so even though this is a lockdown being placed out, Boise State has enough time to reposition themselves, and it is a 3v2. Boise State's going to throw out their own KJ.
Last player standing.
Just 1 left, Skies. He's going to be able to get a collateral on that one. KJ is going to be thrown out. Give him enough time. It's going to be a showdown between him and the Omen left. Try to bait a defuse. Still has plenty of time.
No charges left.
Oh no.
It's a rough situation. Quite no. And the flick over. My goodness, Skies. A quad. And the Broncos aren't done quite yet.
Oh wow, you guys.
Oh boy. And that's just how good Skies can be with the flicks. Even if he, you know, has two options to choose from, he has such a quick split-second reaction. Not only that, to just instantly get the headshot. Okay, it's just 1 round at a time for the Broncos.
Lightstorm's online, as are Seekers, and the Omen ultimate. UNLV only has Hunter's Fury. I just don't know how broke the Broncos are. We have Rihanna still playing some Guardian Gaming as well.
In a situation where the Broncos can't really save at all, but Skies, that's going to be able to get things off to a good start, is able to get infinite. Refills on the knives as well.
Rotation coming out from UNLV, not positive if Broncos.
That seems... He might be aware of it.
Cover going out.
Guns traded from both Omens.
And all that KJ util is going to be going off on point. He's waiting for the concuss. Keeps the Rebels at bay for now. Swarm Grenade also going to just keep that plant going.
Spike planted.
Going through. Skies an updraft. Still gets stunned by the breach. Now moves in. J-Bag and Maze both pick up one.
1 enemy remaining.
It's just left to cook. And the Broncos win that one as well. It's now 12-8. Now, each round, the Broncos have had to spend an ultimate to try to keep things even. They use both the Blade Storm and the Seekers, whereas UNLV held on to the Hunter's Fury.
If you think about it, UNLV has quite the padding here, so saving up ultimates is totally fine. They can lose a round here and there. It's not that big of a deal. Lose one here and there, at least at some point, you're going to win one, and that's all you need.
But Boise State has forced UNLV back onto half shields, and they are all Vandals. Boise State now going. This is such a play right now. They're rotating up through C long, and the Hunter's Fury is going to be brought out into them. It is a runaway game. Their Sky Skeldum goes down to half health. Such a gutsy play at this point of the game.
Ooh!
Potato Bacon picks up a double. Skies is trying to... Oh my goodness! With 3, a collateral maze to bring it back. And there's one left. And Boise State gets that as well, 12-9.
Come here.
Well, they're halfway there.
Let's do this.
You know, we had another postseason game just yesterday. We had a very exciting NACE matchup in Rocket League where the Boise State were up against a reverse sweep situation, and they were able to get that. So
Nichols College put up quite the fight.
Get out of my way!
Late storm committed by UNLV. Boise State doesn't have any ults, but should be okay.
Oldham has the opportunity to pick up this Sova. It's kind of jiggle peeking around, getting ever closer. He's going to spot
him.
Skies has also gone for the op and taken out Potato Bacon.
Finally, Skies grabs the op. We were a little bit too broke earlier. And J-Bag finds Infinite. Another Hawk. I think barely broke the smoke, but did not get Blaro.
Healing over here.
Healing going out. Oh! Skies is able to take out Blaro, though. He has his teammates back.
There's gonna be, yeah, that's what I was worried about. But op is still in heaven, and that person only has a sheriff. You can see the op, you know, he didn't rotate for. Oh. Hoping Maze would have the opportunity for a duel.
Jump at just the right moment. Gonna go down. That Omen scares me so much, and they all focus on the Omen. Take him out. Okay, the Broncos have brought themselves up to double digits. They've won 4 rounds in a row. And have a Blade Storm now available to them. But Skies already has the op, so probably doesn't have a reason to use that Blade Storm. And there goes the other timeout used by UNLV. Oh, do you need a moment to compose yourself, because you're getting that look in your eyes right now.
This is way too close for comfort.
This is
look.
the too close for comfort. Are we really going to another game look?
Well, I mean, it's what I asked for to make it to Lotus, that Haven would send us to Lotus, but I think honestly this timeout might be reminiscent, and we'll take a quick look when we jump back in game here, because I think UNLV might be a little more broke than they're used to.
Yeah, and but there have been multiple opportunities where they have pulled off thrifties, and sometimes you just need this timeout to be able to put a dent in the other teams. Sometimes, you know, just that mental reset, you know, the 1 minute that overtime gives you should be considered just as much of an asset as your ultimates are. You know, it's there for you to use.
I also would like to point out that one team calling timeout literally gives the other team a timeout at the same time. So you're making us not have to use ours yet, and we can save them for map 3.
You would hope so. It's all an option of Boise State. You know, could be in control of that timer very much if they move on to Lotus. So we're just gonna have to see how it turns out. My intuition tells me that timeout is over. Boise State still has this op, and it's gonna be a C-long push. Skies is holding down the sight line onto B, but call goes out that everyone's going C.
This is a full frontal assault coming out from the side of UNLV onto this B site. They've committed to it. Guys, you need to win this duel.
Oh my
Oh!
goodness! How did you even?
Dropped the op too and picked it back up.
And is going to get healed back up to full health on top of that.
Did tragically lose Maze, popping Blade Storm. Everyone's playing back. Pro stick it, guys. Pro stick it. Come on, guys.
Oh, yeah. Oh my goodness, swaps over and gets a quad on the knives. It's just him and the Omen left. Oh, he tries to stick it, and UNLV claims it at the very end.
That
What
was
an
so
effort.
close.
Oh my goodness, what an ending. Well, overall, a great matchup between the Broncos and Rebels, and I gotta say that rivalry is still alive and thriving in the Mountain West. Boise State picked up Overwatch, but UNLV answers right back, so I think we still have a lot of very intense Mountain West seasons ahead of us, because there are still scores to settle.
Yeah, but hear me out. First couple years of the Mountain West, our Overwatch team wasn't super successful, and then they got the ball rolling, and it's perpetually kept rolling. I think the same thing can be said for the Valorant squad.
Yeah, but for right now, it is a well-earned win for the Rebels, and they are able to pull out the victory in Haven. Now is going to be the time when we can give kind of a nomination, and I have to say, off those last few rounds, I think it would be Skies I would nominate for Player of the Game.
I gotta go for Skies or Maze. Those are the two that my votes are going in for. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm actually gonna feel genuinely sad this time. Unlike other times where I'm just kind of like, if I'm actually
the other
wrong,
other times it's a punchline on for how wrong we are.
yeah, in this instance,
but this times it's personal.
yeah.
And you know
Okay,
what?
okay.
At the most important time when it is personal, your prediction is correct.
At first they were showing Aldum, and I was like, am I really that wrong? But it is going to be Skies getting our ICCU Player of the Game.
And I think Sky's biggest asset was just how fast he is on the flicks. I mean, there were multiple moments where the crosshair placement didn't line up, but Skies was so quick in readjusting that he was able to pull off, I mean, insane, 3v1, 4v1 victories. So Skies is going to be the Player of the Game, brought to you by the Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like how Idaho Central helps its members achieve financial success. Skies is going to be your ICCU Player of the Game. And with that, another Mountain West season is brought to a close. Nerdy, do you have any final thoughts to close things out?
We'll get it next year.
We'll get him next year. I mean, that's the right attitude to have. It's like you say, GG go next.
Yeah.
And this is kind of a season-wide GG go next, but weather is warming up, and there will be certainly a pleasant summer to enjoy before we get back into the action.
This man seems to think I'm actually going to go spend time outside.
Okay, I mean, fair rebuttal. I mean, I was possibly, that was in the back of my mind, but I decided to still go with the line. But it turns I should have listened to the voice in my head and not committed so hard on that. But either way, we're going to leave you with the top 5 plays of the game, brought to you by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams to join out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. Thank you for joining us, and enjoy your top 5 plays. Rolling Thunder to retake from the Rebels. We're going to be moving right in. J-Bag is concussed. It does wear off, though. He moves in, but doesn't check the angle to the right. And Air makes him pay for that. Some jiggle peeks up the lobby.
You're better.
Start 16-9 in the first half. They're going to go for a B push as well.
Not as cool.
I also swear that it isn't this common normally,
No,
because
it's-
B has been the most popular point in this particular stage. They don't make it an infinite, both pick up ones for themselves.
Levers inside B site with a disgusting amount of util, and the answer is everyone's on the edges, so they're not going to get caught in it. Nice try.
Everything is just thrown at that doorway. Oldham gets the first pick. Oh, the Guardian Gaming that we love to see. It's a double. Still 2-for-1 trade. The thing is, does UNLV have enough time to... The thing is here, you also got to keep in mind how close UNLV might be to their ultimates. Do you want to risk giving a point over to them? Brianna only needs one for their point.
Last player standing.
And it's going to take it out of being taken out. And a 1-for-1 trade. grenade also gonna just keep that plant going
Spike planted.
through. Sky's an updraft, still gets stunned by the breach. Now moves in, J-Bag and Maze both pick up one.
One enemy remaining.
It's just left to cook, and the Broncos win that.